at the edge of space, calling us to fly away.
scene. Class vs. Crass. The mastermind of this operation is Jason Levine. Class vs. Crass. With the help of his scruffy buddy, 85 to the RGT. Class vs. Crass.
Always forget to unmute the mic. Good evening, all you beautiful people, and welcome to the Crass vs. Crass Gaming Podcast. Did I say Crass vs. Crass or Class vs. Crass?
I don't know what the fuck you said.
It's been 2 weeks. I get rusty. Welcome back to the Class vs. Crass Gaming Podcast. I'm your host, Hey Jay. Joining me as always, we got RGT85 over on the side.
Greetings.
And we've got Treon, the producer, down
Hello,
below.
everyone.
I've watched so much Kind of Funny before. I always want to follow up producer with /seducer, but that's their thing, so I can't quite do their thing. Audio is kind of underrated, Hall. I don't know about you. If it is your first time joining us, it is a 1-hour podcast where we go over all the latest in gaming. So we usually break it down with what we've been playing over the past couple of weeks, talk about the major headlines. Tonight's big headline being PlayStation digital titles. Do they have an expiry date? I would have said no, but Treon shared some new stuff with me that actually brings up some concerning stuff. And as someone who has become pro digital, and Treon being the herald of physical medium, it should be an interesting topic to discuss. And then we've got a ton of headlines from the last 2 weeks to cover, so we're going to cover that in headlines you might have missed. And then finally, we take the lightning round where we take your questions, your comments, anything we might have missed, and we toss it up, and then we call it a show. Hello, Umel. But before we get started, a very important question I have for everyone. Would anyone here pay money if Sean streamed in a hot tub? That's it. It's just Sean watching the game, smoking some cigarettes, drinking. You still drink Diet Dr. Pepper?
No, I drink Zevia Black Cherry.
Right, he's over on Zevia now. Drinking some Zevia, and he's in a hot tub. That's the gimmick. Do people pay for that?
Yes, we already told you they do.
I want to see if there's anyone here that watches you that would do it. Reason I bring this up is, I learned that Sean's looking into a hot tub. But also at the same time, I discovered on Twitch yesterday that there are some streamers out there that literally have inflatable hot tubs that you can put in your room, and they sit in it in their swimsuits and they're just chatting and they're rolling in the views and the money because they're in a hot tub. But it's not even a hot tub because there's this much water at the bottom. Like the thing is maybe 3-4 feet high and there's maybe 2 inches of water in the bottom. Like, what is the point at that? You're not even sitting in a bathtub. You're just, I guess you would get pretty wrinkly.
You do realize that nobody's watching them for the actual hot tub, right?
I mean, I guess I'm thinking too much. Yeah, I guess I thought too much about it. Good point. And I guess
which is bizarre because I mean, you can just go on like a porn website and see more and see better. So
I think it's because if they watch the streamer, they feel that they have a bigger connection with the person, which is what gets them into it.
Maybe
the psychological aspect. It's the friend next door, versus the porn next door. So, how have your weeks been? How was your Easters? I know Sean was playing with the drunk bunny.
It was good.
Did you get chocolate eggs from that bunny at least?
No, Grandma gave me a chocolate egg and a chocolate bunny.
It's very nice. I hear your grandmother spoiling you a lot. Does your mother also like equally? Is the grandmother you always reference your mother's mother, or is it on the other side of the family?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, that's my mother's mother.
Okay.
Yeah, like I don't know. It's because all the men in the family are considered to be like idiots. So that's why. Like she still goes to the bank for my uncle and like does shit for him like that. And he's like married, so
she doesn't even trust his wife.
Weird. No, it's just a weird Italian thing, really, I think.
Oh, okay. Fair. How was your Easter, Treon?
Pretty chill. Just played some games, kind of hung out with the family. Well, I'll save that one when we get into what we're actually playing.
Well, you had a natural segue by saying playing some games. So what have you been playing?
I don't know why, but Monster Hunter Generations.
He's trying it again.
I'm about 2 hours in.
Wow.
And I'm doing the quests and stuff.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, I'm freaking hating it.
Okay.
I keep pushing, but I'm still hating the hell out of it. But I'm hoping there's a hump that I get over at some point.
Have you tried asking for help in the Discord? Because I feel when you have people helping, it makes a big difference.
I did mention it, but I don't know many people who actually play the 3DS version. Most people on there have the Switch version.
Oh, okay.
So since I'm doing it on the 3DS and it's also not exactly comfortable, I'm actually debating borrowing it from my friend because she has it for the Switch and doing the transfer to continue it into the Switch and see if maybe that'll help a little bit. But I still have a lot of the same problems that you had mentioned way back in your original video that went viral.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's like a mental block or something. I just can't get over it.
First of all, why do you have that game? As someone who has hated the series, did you actually buy the 3DS version?
I have the Wii U one, the 3 Ultimate, and I also have the Generations, and in both cases I got them for $5 a piece.
Oh, okay.
So it was so cheap. I was like, okay, everyone talks about this, let me give it a try.
Mm-hmm.
And like the Wii U one, I got frustrated like an hour into it, and I was just like, okay, forget it. And then the 3DS one, I was like, well, people have said that, because things have moved forward in the 3DS one, let me see where they went with that. And again, didn't work, or isn't working so far. I'm hoping that something does. I'm doing the Sword and Shield at the moment. That's what I'm using for my combat, and I'm just at the point where they're trying to get me set up with the Palico to follow me around. So
have you hunted a monster yet, though?
The small ones. I haven't done any of the larger monsters yet. It's most of the quests are like go out and collect X number of this item, or go out and kill this many of this creature, or something along those lines.
Okay, so you're still herd calling at this point.
Yeah.
And that's frustrating right now.
Yes, very much so.
What is frustrating specifically?
I feel like I'm walking through molasses when I'm actually moving around in the environment. Like it's very slow, it's very cumbersome. I'm still fighting with the camera, but that I kind of attribute to the 3DS because the little nub doesn't exactly help much with that.
Right.
Yeah. I am doing it on a new 3DS XL as opposed to the old one where you have to use a digital pad for a camera.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, it's hard for me to relate because you're playing on a system that I would probably dislike. The graphics aren't helping. And one thing that really motivated me is I started in World, which was kind of this epic storytelling version of Monster Hunter. And you start pretty quick with a monster that's fairly big. Mm-hmm. And I quickly forgot about the sluggishness because it brings you into a fight right away. And when you're in a fight, the sluggishness, I guess you kind of forget about it in the stress of the fight itself.
Okay.
So I don't know if anyone in the chat or anyone who's in our Discord, in the Hey Jay Discord, would know. I mean, there's some Monster Hunter Gen players there. Sean, you played this game, didn't you? On both Switch and 3DS, or am I remembering that wrong?
Yes, I did.
Both?
I did. I played them both.
How do they compare from one another? Is it way better on the Switch from a controls perspective?
I would say it's better because you have more traditional controls, but I mean, it's still clunky. I mean, really the biggest issues with Generations is just how it, especially if you've been playing newer ones like Rise, like, oh, you're going to a sand area, oh, you better have your cooling stuff. You got to take your cooling drink or else your feet will burn and then you'll be losing health. Or you're going to a hot area, or you're going to a cold area, oh, you better have your heat stuff. Like,
I didn't even know about that. That sounds awful.
Oh, it's so bad. And it's just another thing you have to micromanage throughout the menu system, which is cumbersome to begin with. So
Yes, it is.
And that back then you had to like carry whetstones with you too, right? It wasn't just like an auto
Yes.
shot. Oh,
I've got like,
yeah,
I think they default me to 2, and I already had to
Just 2?
use one like in the middle of a battle, and yeah, it's just like, and then I accidentally used it a second time when trying to sheath my weapon
yeah.
because I think the
paintballs too.
yeah,
That sounds
You gotta throw
terrible.
a paintball in order to know where the fucker goes.
That sounds horrible. If you could, you don't have an Xbox or a PlayStation, right? To try World.
No.
Okay. We have to get you into World somehow. Like, I can't comment
Well,
on
no,
the
Rise.
other-
I did watch. I was over at my friend's place like a few nights ago, and she got Rise,
Mhm.
and I was watching her, and that was the one thing I will say. I agree 100% with Sean. I was shocked about how good that game looks in
Mhm.
person. Like, it is a completely different thing seeing it in person running versus seeing it on the stream. Like, it is really crisp.
Yeah. Rise might be your entry point. Like when the game becomes more, the demo was not a great way to introduce you to that game. So maybe when there's like a price drop or something, or if you can get a copy, that might be a good way.
I feel like, I know it's unlikely to happen, but I feel like a $15, $20 area would be where I'd feel like, okay, I'm willing to give this a shot. So
I think you're going to find that because Monster Hunter is a game that everyone who says they eventually like it hated it at one point. So I think you're going to get a lot of people who will buy it out of the hype, hate it, and send it in and return it. And pretty sure you'll be able to find it at a discount this year. Anything else you've been playing?
I picked up Hades, but I haven't actually started playing it yet. I got the physical. It was at Walmart for like $30. And I was like, I'm going to grab it now because that's like $5 cheaper than normal. So it's on the shelf right next to the Oris.
Nice. Did that come with the book?
Yeah, it's got an art book, a digital soundtrack. I feel like there's something else there, but I can't remember what it is.
Probably cards, like some
Something like
postcards
that.
or something.
Yeah, you got to bring a pickaxe with you. You got to bring a bug net with you.
What?
Bugs. And there's no auto pickaxe. Oh god.
Yeah.
You have to put away your weapon, pull out your pickaxe, and then mine,
Yes.
and then put away your
Yes.
pickaxe.
And your pickaxe is gonna break all the fucking time.
Yes,
What?
I've run. When I was doing
It's
a
just-
quest,
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not that it's bad. It's just that it's dated compared to what you can do now.
Does it get progressively worse the further back you go in time with this franchise?
I mean, those things are always standard in the old ones too.
I mean, I've heard a lot of people really hated in 3 where they did the underwater battles. Like they said
Oh.
that was real clunky, where you would actually try and move in full 360 underwater while the monsters are coming at you.
No, thank you. I will probably try them for laughs and giggles after I've played the cream of the cream, but cream of the crop. But man, I'm not looking forward to dabbling in that old stuff. I'm getting like Generations. I'm interested. Someone really sold it to me today. They said it's the Smash Brothers Ultimate of Monster Hunter in the sense that a lot of monsters are in the game. And I'm like, that's an attractive way. But now you guys are mentioning all these old, like outdated mechanics. I'm like, oh, do I
Yeah.
want to deal with that?
It's very clunky, and as I said, it's very slow. Like, and my experience coming into it was very much what you described when you did your first video with it.
Right.
And I've always had that impression when I'm going into playing it because that's my only experience with it.
Yeah.
So
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Once I play it, maybe I'll have more tips for you. But Sean, what have you been playing these days?
Still more Monster Hunter Rise, more Retromania, and Pac-Man 99. A good bit of
Oh,
that.
yeah, Pac-Man 99. How'd you like that?
It's good. I would say as a game, it's better than Super Mario 35 because the problem with Super Mario Bros. 35 was that some of those matches took way too fucking long, and it was just like, this is taking entirely too long. Whereas Pac-Man 99, it's a lot faster because there's constantly stuff happening. There's constantly people dropping. So it's just a lot, it's a lot more accessible as far as get in and get out. And there's a lot of stuff you can purchase as well that actually changes the game pretty substantially. Like the different themes and stuff that you could buy. I thought it was just going to be like borders around the screen, but no, it actually transfers the whole Pac-Man map to where, like, Pac-Man, like, say you do, you know, I don't know if Xevious is one of them, but we'll say Xevious. Like, Pac-Man would turn into a ship instead of Pac-Man, and then like the ghosts will turn into enemies. So it's actually pretty in depth what you could do with it. They're probably going to do a physical version of it that has all the additional content on it, much like they did with Tetris 99. But yeah, it's pretty fun. I like it.
I'm not a fan of Pac-Man gameplay, so I have zero interest in even trying it. And as someone who couldn't get into Tetris 99, I don't think I've ever screamed at a TV from like anxiety as much as Tetris 99 made me scream. Like, that game was intense. And even the Mario 35th, I tried it once just to get a understanding of what it was. I'm like, these old, I mean, they're retro games, right? They're essentially retro games with that little modern flair to them. And it doesn't make me like them more. So
yeah, we know you've got your issues with the whole retro thing. So.
Let the past die.
No.
Kill it if you have to.
There's a ton of great stuff there.
To be
Such a depressing way to think.
To be fair, there's some good stuff. I mean, I went through Castlevania in the last 2 years, and I appreciated that old stuff, despite the bad mechanics. Being able to experience a series and its evolution, and then seeing inspiration in the callbacks. There are ways to appreciate the past. I just don't want to play the past all the time.
Yeah, and then you bailed on Castlevania, which I'm not going to let you forget.
I did not bail. I finished all of the Castlevania games except for 2 Lord of Shadow titles. Which...
Did you do the 3DS Lord of Shadows game?
No, that's one of the 2.
That's one of the good ones.
It's
classic 2D gameplay. You
Is
can
it?
play it on.
Treon said it
Yes.
was terrible, so I didn't really.
I loved it.
I did not care for that one.
I loved it.
It's very clunky feeling in the combat, and it felt like a Metroidvania light. It didn't feel like a full fleshed out Metroidvania.
Exactly. That's not a bad thing.
You know, I am looking, like, as someone who has just been drinking out of the hose Monster Hunter, I am very much looking forward to playing more games. Like, I started playing Witcher 3, which oddly enough came out. I don't know if we talked about this yet. There was an event quest in Monster Hunter where you play as Geralt. And I was like, would I like... And I realized that, Witcher has like some hunting elements. Now that I like Monster Hunter, will I like Witcher 3? Because that's another game I gave up on years ago. And I think it clicked. I'm at 8 hours now in. I don't know if you guys have played Witcher 3.
I played like 2 or 3 hours of it. I picked it up for a friend when it was on sale, and he let me borrow it to make notes for a video, but I just haven't gotten around to doing the video for it.
Okay.
It's impressive. I mean, I expected to hate it because I don't like Skyrim, but it's a completely different beast from Skyrim, which I actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
I put like 40 or 50 hours into it, I believe.
Okay, so you're way ahead of me. I'm at the part where the Bloody Baron story arc. And so that's the main story. And then as part of that story, it's like, you need to go like seek out a witch in the woods, which turns out is like your old friend. And then there's a whole side story to this. And I just kept doing like quests. And 3 hours later, I have not moved the main story, but I've developed this entire backstory with my witch friend. We went on a date. I slept with her. And then she betrayed me and tried to like go do things. And I'm just like, I am so invested in my character right now. And I'm playing as a Geralt who... like, he's good, but he doesn't try to influence the world around him. He realizes, like, this is my view. The world is going to be shit. I'm one man. I just need to like make my way through the world, get my money, hunt my monsters, and just live a happy life. So I don't try to like, if I see something really bad happening, okay, I'll stop it. But otherwise I'm not trying to be goody two shoe. And like, I love that you get tested constantly. Like there's one, some people tried to start a fight with me in a bar and I'm like, hey, how about I buy you a drink and let's just like chill. And then later you meet those people somewhere else and they're like, hey, you're the guy that bought me the drink. I'm like, I am so happy I did not kill you. It just intertwines so well. So that's what
You could buy Lords of Shadow Mirror of Fate on the PC for $2.79 on CD keys.
I'll go buy it because I will play it. I need to play that Lords of Shadow 2 and Judgment on the Wii. So
And you're going back to streaming on YouTube, right? For just the Castlevanias?
no, I'll stick to Twitch. Even if there's a lower viewership, I'll stick to Twitch.
It's a great game.
Oh, you got your partner now, so you don't care about the numbers being dragged down.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Also, I realized being a partner doesn't even do anything. I thought, okay, it unlocked a lot
You
more
work so hard
emotes.
for nothing.
Yeah, I thought like Twitch would give you a bigger cut of revenue. I thought that's what partner meant. Partner just means you get a nice little check mark and you get more emote slots, which to be fair, more emote slots is nice. But like, come on, Twitch, you could be a little bit more generous
No,
here.
they're stingy when it comes to
They-
money for their creators.
They are. I think they take the biggest cut out of, I was reading on this, like not just YouTube, but compared to every platform, Twitch takes the biggest cut from content
Well,
creators.
it's Bezos, right? Are you surprised?
You know, I keep forgetting that. Yeah.
Yeah, that has its little claws in that.
Yeah. So, but as I have to say, as a platform, I do enjoy the tools it offers. YouTube could compete, and they tried, and they failed, because Google, not much better.
I personally, if I start, I'm leaning towards wanting to do YouTube right out the gate because I'm just not too keen on Twitch at the moment.
YouTube has the basics for streaming. I feel they're weaker when it comes to community building. Like they've got the basics, but it's a little bit. When did you violate the terms of my chat, Hull? Don't recall that happening.
They seem to be obsessed with DLC.
I don't know.
talking about the DLC for Witcher.
No, I don't know what DLC they're talking about. Let's go into our big headline today, which is the whole digital fiasco. So a couple weeks ago, PlayStation announced this summer you can't get movies on your PlayStation. You can't buy movies through the PlayStation Network. And then they went out and said, hey, your PlayStation 3 games, yeah, you can't buy those anymore. You can't download those anymore. Your PlayStation Vita games, you can't do that anymore. Which was one thing. Like we all know that happens in the world of digital games. It's a known. We saw it with the Wii. We saw it with
the Wii.
Just the Wii. Is it just the Wii that did that?
Nintendo DS and the Wii are the only two that the original Xbox, but I don't really count that one.
Yeah. But now a YouTuber called, I don't have his name here, has brought up the fact that, and maybe you could explain it better than I can, Treon. I'm going to try. Apparently there is a clock in your PlayStation 3, and if the battery to that clock dies after the PlayStation Network disconnect happens, you will lose access to all of your digital games and you will not be able to restore them. Is that accurate?
Because basically what happens is when you play, it actually syncs up with the clock. And if your clock dies and you go to replace the clock, it then has to connect to the network to resync your digital purchase with your system. And if the PlayStation Network is no longer there, you replace your battery, you lose all access to your digital content. And the bigger problem is that they went and tested it, and it's apparently on the PS4, but it's even bigger because on the PS4, your physical games install, and they have the same thing where they also go online to look for a key.
Mm-hmm.
And when they inevitably shut down that digital storefront, your physical games will no longer work on your PS4 as well as your digital.
Okay, I missed the PS4 aspect. That's some big time shit.
Yes. I think this is going to blow up. I know, Sean, you were talking with MVG. I think he was talking about the fact that he was going to do a bigger video on it. Yeah, where he's going to test the stuff. But I think... And the thing that's real dirty about it is this could all be fixed with a firmware from Sony. Like, this seems to be intentionally put in there to purposely make your old stuff not work in, later down the road.
Mm-hmm. Has any of this been explored on the Wii or the Xbox 360 or Xbox One, if there's similar issues there?
Well, Xbox... Microsoft... I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say the Wii, I mean... If you have digital games on your original Wii, and plus you can hack your Wii very easily, to put things on there. original Xbox didn't have a digital store per se, like that. So that's, I mean, my original Xbox is modded. I could put a disc in, I could download an ISO, upload it onto the Xbox, it plays the game. So,
But I mean a 360, Xbox 360.
360 hasn't been a problem due to the fact that Microsoft still fully supports it. They've
Exactly.
integrated all of the storefronts across the last 3 systems, like the Series, the One, and the 360. So that's not been an issue. Like, I can still go on with my 360 and get stuff. And I have actually played offline with stuff I've downloaded, and with the exception of it not like keeping track of, I think, achievements and stuff, I've had no problem. Like, I can play the games just fine. Now, I don't know about the clock, but because they continue to support it, and I'm sure Microsoft will put something in play that if they eventually shut that down, but I don't think it's going to shut down anytime soon. They've gone out of their way to actually support the older stuff.
Yeah, the fact that you can put an Xbox 360 disc in an Xbox One. Am I correct in that? You can
put some original Xbox games in an Xbox Series X and actually play those.
Right. So, I mean, Microsoft seems more willing to play to that because they see it as a competitive edge, which differentiates them from PlayStation. And I don't know, PlayStation, they always do this. Every time they have their little high, they get arrogant.
They get so cocky.
And then the next generation, they mess up. They did it with the PlayStation 2. They got arrogant. PlayStation 3, they're like, hey, buy this expensive, unique, custom-made console with like proprietary tech. And everyone's like, that is damn expensive. No. And they're doing it again with the PS5. It's the business of the PS5 era. On the fact that you can actually lose it, you know, it's all garbage and bullshit. But the way I view digital games, and this is just me, I don't expect anyone else to share this. When I buy a game digitally, I play it and I oftentimes will never go back to it. I view a game very much to like when you go to the movies, you know, you're going to pay $10-20 to go see a film. You're going to see it and then you're done. It's a one and done kind of deal. And some people, you know, they'd rather get the DVD or the Blu-ray and then they can watch as many times. So to me, once I've spent, let's say I've spent $60 on Mario Odyssey. All right. I've gone through the Odyssey. I've done everything I want. I'm done. To me, the $60 is done. If I want to play it 3 years from now and I still can, that's a bonus. But just because of the way how I play and progress through games, I rarely go back. So to me, it's not like big. In fact, I don't even know. I think I gave away my PlayStation 3 now that I realize. So all the games I have on there, I can't even access anymore. But I also wasn't very tied to that collection. Now, if I lost my PS4 collections and I had to rebuy everything,
yeah,
I might
well, not only that, a physical disc. You have a certain expectation with a physical disc that if you buy that, like, yes, digital, everybody knows it sucks, but everybody knows it's a glorified rental.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in the case of a physical, if you bought a physical product, with the exception of that game requiring an online, like what was the PS3 one, Mag, and then you had Final Fantasy 11 and stuff. Outside of those, which you clearly knew that those were online only experiences, if you buy a single player PS4 disc, and then they eventually shut down that, and then something happens and you can no longer access it.
Yeah, no,
it's so much bullshit.
That's utter bullshit. And it would be one thing if PlayStation was even interested in preserving, like even if they were re-releasing, but you just know you're going to get The Last of Us in like 50 editions and packs going forward. Like that's the only title that they're going to keep caring about, which is another story for tonight. But like all the indie titles, anything that came with like the limited run. Wait, does that mean all like the limited run discs as well will not work?
As far as I know, because they're all the way that they're designed, because it's not running off the disc itself. It has to install to the machine first. So it's essentially turning it into a digital file on the machine, just like something that you would download offline.
That's so crazy because to this day, there is a renaissance in the retro market where you have developers making new games for old hardware like the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, and even the handhelds to some extent. And you're telling me that, let's say in 10 years from now, people will be making games for the Sega Genesis and it will work. but you will not be able to make a game for the PlayStation 4.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I can confirm, because you mentioned a little bit ago with the Wii,
Yeah.
I have actually replaced the battery. They work because they don't do the online identification. I don't think Nintendo does that with any of their systems so far.
Right.
Like the 3DS, even the Switch. If you download it, because of the fact that they expect you to be able to play it on the go,
Right.
it doesn't do that online check, with the exception of their NES and SNES app.
But I think that's every
Yeah.
2 weeks or something that
Yeah.
they do that check.
Yeah.
And that one is pretty much understood that you're paying to play that when
Yes.
you're online. So it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
bullshit.
it is. And Sony is not winning themselves any fans with this.
Honestly, like the brand and the company has become, as someone who has always been, like I have always been kind of Nintendo and PlayStation, Xbox I've always had at the bottom. PlayStation is so unappealing right now because they've leaned so heavily into their first party narratives that they're kind of losing sight of everything else. Like they're going so hard on Last of Us. Oh, we're going to make a movie. Oh, we're going to make a Ghost of Tsushima movie. And like, they're really leaning hard into these first person, these single player narrative experiences, which is great. But don't lose sight of the forest for the one tree you're very proud of. And to this day, the PlayStation 5 is still unappealing outside of the Final Fantasy 7 DLC that I want. But as a company, like I have to say, Microsoft, you're looking more attractive, but you're still buggy.
I've always had big issues with Sony dating back over 20 years, and that's from everything from retail experience to other stuff. So I've always put them at the bottom of the pack,
Really?
and Microsoft has grown for me over the years because of, despite their leaning more towards digital, they seem to be doing it right as far as I'm concerned.
Right. So you never had like a PS1, PS2, PS3?
I had them, but I never had them during their generations.
Oh, okay.
Nintendo was always my primary.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, for right up through the late 90s, Sega was my secondary. And then I'd say with the 360 is when I never liked the original Xbox, but
Yeah.
the 360 on, I've actually preferred that.
I hated the Xbox. It was chunky.
Yeah.
All
Giant
right.
VCR.
And the controller too was massive.
Oh, the Duke.
All right. Any other thoughts on Sony before we go on to headlines you might have missed?
No, that sounds good.
How's WrestleMania going over there?
The first match was fucking terrible. I'm about checking on the Knicks now.
You're not dual screening it or 3 screening it? Podcasts, Knicks, wrestling?
I guess. Well, I don't want to get interrupted.
Thought you were gonna say I don't want to get distracted.
3 different audios going at once.
Oh, Sean, real quick, did you see the thing about what is the new WrestleMania game or whatever that just got released to 2D, that they're supposed to be doing an arcade version of that?
Oh, the Retromania, the iArcade one? Yeah.
Okay.
I
was just going to say, I thought of you when I saw that, and I was like, that looks pretty cool.
They want to send me one, but I literally do not have the room for it.
But you can keep it packed away till you get your house.
I
Toss out the fetus and make room for the arcade.
There's not that. It's very cramped in here as it is.
All
Yeah,
right.
but that's what I said. You keep it packed, and it's already set for moving.
then
true.
he has to lug it.
No, I'm gonna hire a mover.
Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? I've done that once, and I have never regretted that investment. Paid a couple $100. They showed up. They took the boxes. They brought them all. I'm like, I should pay for this more often.
Yeah,
As long as you get a reputable one that doesn't break your stuff on the way.
No, I'll just kill them.
It was like, I think there were like a group of Russian guys, and had Vladimir in there, and did a good job. In headlines you might have missed, did you hear Konami's canceled Castlevania game for Dreamcast has been resurrected? What a nice pun.
Did. And it is requiring a lot of money if you want it. I wonder what that.
Oh, are they selling it?
Selling.
Oh,
Yeah.
It got
Last
taken down.
No shit.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, there's a lot. I mean, there's more to the story. I didn't get a chance to post it, but people online, the preservationists, are really pissed because this guy has been like fighting against actually uploading the data online.
Right.
Like everyone's like, it's still going to be valuable. Just get it so it's preserved. But he's fighting against it, so we'll see what happens.
Do we know who?
Well, why would they? But I mean, my thing is, if it's yours and you want to sell it to someone, it's, you know, and a group of people decide to chip in and buy it. Like, you know, I feel like everyone would win with that situation.
True, but at the same time, I mean, like you've seen with other, I mean, I know MVG has talked about on his, like, he's even offered to do it for free if someone contacts him just to get it uploaded. Then you can sell it. It's not really going to affect the value. It's still a one-of-a-kind piece.
Yeah.
It's just getting it out there for the community so that it's preserved.
Yeah. Do we know how
But
this?
Jason doesn't care about old games, so.
Yeah.
I care about this because
No, you don't. You can't pick and choose your battles.
I don't want to. I don't want to play it, but it's an interesting story. I'm just seeing now that it was supposed to feature Sonia Belmont. Sonia or Sonia?
Yeah, it was the chick from
The third,
Legends.
the non-canon one.
Yes.
I understand that reference. I know this world. So that's interesting. That I had no idea that there was a Dreamcast version that was supposed to be that was canceled.
I thought I mentioned it to you in one of the streams, but you probably don't remember it.
I mean, you've shoveled a lot of knowledge into my brain. Not all of it has stuck. Do we know how this person came to get this game? Like to bring it out 20 years? It's just like, oh, look at this. I got a demo of.
I don't think they've given the full story of it. I think it's one of those like, oh, maybe they got it in a lot, or maybe they, got it. They maybe got it off of an old collector or something, because it's been rumored for quite a few years to exist. Like, there's a couple of Castlevania YouTubers that have talked about the fact, like, this. It's been shown that the disc has existed for at least 2 or 3 years, but nobody knew where it was or how to get it.
So it was only a rumor up until this past week
Yeah.
that this game was even a thing. There was was no media coverage of it back in the day.
I think the composer who actually did music for it, which you can get, he's uploaded the masters of the music that he made, but I think he's talked about it, but he didn't have it. He just knew that it existed because he was working on the project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, the Dreamcast is such a... I've never seen one, like... I've never really played with one. And I'm just, like, looking back. And
Really?
It's such a relic of the past. Yeah, I got off... I think I stepped out of gaming for a bit after the Sega Genesis. And then I came back with the PS2. And I was on PC. That's what I did. I jumped from Genesis to PC. And then I came back to consoles with the PS2. So I skipped that whole like early 2000s, late 90s.
I got mine, I think it was a Sears in like 2002. It was down to like $50.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, let me go ahead and grab this. And it's the same one I've had ever since.
I was very like anti CD-ROM for my consoles. Like I didn't want to know anything about consoles that use CD-ROMs. Like when the PlayStation came out, I was like, what is this shit? I do not want to put a CD in.
I always preferred, I prefer cartridges, but I was still well aware of the disc-based ones.
So like the Dreamcast, I just didn't want anything to do with it because it was CDs, and then I eventually had to give up.
I mean, there is some Dynamite stuff on that system.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dynamite Cop 2.
So I've heard.
Power Stone. I don't know why we haven't gotten a Power Stone collection for something like the Switch. It's like such a no-brainer.
It's on the PSP.
Come on, really?
I mean,
The only game I have from there is Sonic Adventures. I got it on Steam, and I haven't played it because I didn't like it. I think I bought it because I buy so many games because Sean's like, this is so fun. I love this game. And then I'm like, okay, it's got to be good. I always end up hating it.
because you have no taste.
I think it's because you have some nostalgia goggles.
No, I didn't really play Sonic Adventure all that much. I played the sports games more so on the Dreamcast.
Oddly enough, I played NHL 96 a lot.
On the Genesis?
Yes.
Of course. The NHL games on the fucking Genesis were top tier.
It's the only
Okay.
sport game I played.
I know it's a running thing in the podcast, but I can never remember. Jay, have you actually played Knights? Or do you just hate it because RGT likes it?
No. So
he's played it.
his love for Knights got me to buy it. I put out my own money
Okay.
and I bought the game. And I was
Like,
like,
it was so much. Oh, you paid so much. You didn't play the Saturn version. You played the fucking Steam version. You paid $10 for it.
I paid too much for it. And I had no context for what the game was. And I'm just like, what is going on? There's kids. There's like this mage. I'm flying in space. The controls are wonky. There's lights everywhere. I'm just like, what is this fever dream? And I remember Knights as a kid because I was a big Sega fan and specifically Sonic. And I had the Sonic comic book. So they would often try to feed you into other IPs. And they had a Knights comic book series. And I remember that I had an issue of like, think Sonic crossovered with Knights. And I was like, I have no interest in this IP. Like when they did the comic book. So from that moment on, like I never had any interest in Knights. And then to revisit it 20 years later, it just, ugh.
Still plays great.
The original I like. I actually prefer Christmas Nights personally. That one.
Yeah,
I was in
Christmas
college, and there was a magazine, and I didn't even have the Saturn, but in the magazine that was the disc that they included with it. It was like a $5 magazine, and they gave you
Wow.
Christmas Nights.
Nice.
And I eventually got a Saturn like a few years later, and held on to that all that time, and I just played the living crap out of that version. Like I kept changing the dates to find out all little things that were hidden for like Easter and New Year's and stuff.
It was nice when you got games in like magazines or cereal boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Miss those
I
things.
still have my Chex Quest.
Nice. I think there's a third one coming out or in development.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, okay, we got a lot of headlines to go through in about 3 minutes. Other headlines you might have missed. There is a rumor going around that there is a new Nintendo Switch dock that has been data mined from System Update 12.0. There is some interesting wording here because they actually give a code name for the new Switch, which is called codename
Allah.
Allah.
That's how I say it. I don't know if that's correct. It's A-U-L-A.
Aula. Or Allah. Probably Allah. Any thoughts there?
Allah. Made a video on it.
Cool.
I don't think I got that one yet.
In other headlines you might have missed, Monster Hunter Rise stays at the top of the Japanese charts as Nintendo dominates the top 10. Do we actually have numbers to go with that? Because I think
What was that? I didn't even hear what you said.
Monster Hunter Rise dominates the charts in Japan.
Oh yeah, it's already sold over 5 mil worldwide.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's selling, I think, as good as World, which is crazy because World was on 3 systems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
With-
thing is crushing it.
With massive install. You're talking Steam, PlayStation 4, and Xbox. And this one little Switch that could is pushing just as many copies.
It almost, I mean, it's not going to be quite that big, but it almost feels like this year's Animal Crossing. Like everyone is getting into it.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to
It
have a...
deserves it.
Yeah. So in the past week, I think just in Japan alone, it sold 250,000 there. Other headlines you might have missed. Oh, Monster Hunter Rise reaches 5 million units shipped, as we just discussed.
Well, that's the worldwide.
Yeah. Other Monster Hunter headlines. I see what you're doing here, Treon.
I try to lump them all together for you.
There is a Ninjala crossover collab coming.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's really bizarre.
it is really bizarre.
Let's throw
Because
this up on.
who's playing Ninjala?
Well, I think
in
that's the
2024?
point. They're trying to get more Ninjala. So the collab has you getting a Kamura, Arathalos, or a Aknasam styled armor in your Ninjala.
Yeah, Ninjala's trying to ride that Monster Hunter D.
They're trying, but I have zero interest in trying Ninjala, even if you're throwing Monster Hunter costumes at me.
Haven't they done? Isn't there some sort of spirits thing as well with Smash Brothers they've been doing?
Probably, but I mean that's been consistent for every big launch. They add in the funsies in Smash. Okay, in non-Monster Hunter news, we've got Pac-Man 99 announced exclusively for Nintendo Switch Online, which Sean here has tried and has recommended, saying it's better than Mario. Other headlines you might have missed: Legend of Mana's physical Switch release will include English language. English. I know how to English. English language support.
No, it's English.
Yeah. So cool if you're into that and you want some English. Blasphemous, the 2D Metroidvania that is far too difficult, is getting an unholy physical edition in June. So I bet Treon's going to be picking it up then.
I'm a little irritated with that one because it's the same crap that I'm getting really ticked off with, where Limited Run does their version and then they do a general release afterwards. And Limited Run has a tendency to price gouge on certain things, or I don't want to go down that road right now, but
that's sneaky. I didn't know they were so when Limited Run does a print, there's nothing that stops the publisher from doing their own physical.
Right. Soon as the print is done, all rights, including publishing, goes right back to the developer. So that means, like we saw it with Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Like Streets of Rage, there's 3 different versions. There's the limited run, there's a limited one over in Europe, and then there's the general release from Merge. And the limited run version is like insanely overpriced, yet you can get it for like $30-$40 everywhere through the Merge version.
But is it a different like box at least?
Yeah, I mean, the artwork looks different, and there's maybe a goodie or 2 put in, but
okay. So you're paying more for that piece of paper that's been printed with a different JPEG. Oh, this one was cool. Yeah, go ahead.
I bought the Doom collection thing.
Oh, you fell for the limited run Doom, eh?
I bought the big one.
I want to get that one myself, but I'm waiting for. I think it's going to hit Best Buy, so I'm going to go for that version.
I got the Shadow Box music player one because
nice.
I have problems.
Yeah.
How? Let me pull this up. How much was that? Doom.
It's
tax write-off.
Yeah.
I don't care.
You're lucky you've got that.
It was $130.
Was that the one with the helmet?
No, it comes with the Doom Classics collection, full color manual, premium die cut windowed box, detailed shadow box featuring LED lights and sound. When activated, the shadow box plays the iconic E1M1 music, reversible cover sheet, red metallic key card replica, official Nintendo Switch size steelbook, 8 gigabyte Doom shareware disc USB, a marine helmet PVC keychain, set of 3 9x6 art prints, and a reprint of the original 1996 16-page Doom comic book sold in the id anthology box set. And I'm never going to open it, and it's just going to sit there.
Didn't you just complain about not having space for arcade, and then you're going to use all these boxes?
Okay, it's the same size as like the Monster Hunter one. And trust me, there's my kitchen table just has games and shit I bought on it.
But you're not even going to appreciate the goodies. You're just going to buy it and being like, I got it. Like a dragon. Like the dragon you are.
Hoard your gold.
You are RGT the dragon.
If I ever get into a position where I need some money, bam, I could sell this for probably thrice the price.
You're better off buying stocks, man.
Am I? My portfolio looks like ass because I keep buying the wrong shit. Dogecoin is fucking saving my ass right now.
Okay, wow, you bought Dogecoin.
I'm up like $200 on Doge.
There you go. You can buy your Doom. It's already better return than Doom. Like, what is this floppy disk? It's an 8 gig USB floppy with no game. Who uses floppies to do anything? Or I mean USB, sorry.
What do you mean? It's a USB drive with 8 gigs on it.
Yeah, who uses USB drives anymore?
Lots of people.
I do.
Oh, well then. I thought those were dead. Could I interest you in more USB drives that I really don't want?
I use them all the time. Like, yeah, that's actually like movies I got digitally on my computer. That's how I play them on the PS3.
I'm all wireless.
Aren't you fancy?
I have a little Stormtrooper that you pop off his head, and it's a 4 gig USB stick. I paid $30 for that.
Jesus.
and I've regretted it since. I've never
No,
put
I
any
buy
of
them
these.
when they're at a good price.
In other, other people in the chat are also using it. Other headlines you might have missed. There's a Metroid Prime demake in the works. It looks awesome. There's a demo. Play it before Nintendo Ninjas take it down. Not the website that I abandoned, but actual Nintendo Ninjas.
Yeah, what happened with that?
Yeah,
asshole?
what happened?
I got busy.
He gave up on fucking.
You need someone like me who specifically is dedicated to running that for you.
Yes, would you like to run some ninjas?
You know what? Let me start getting money on this one first.
All right. Too many
Good luck.
projects, not enough money.
Yeah.
This looks cool, but it's sad that it's never going to see the light of day. But I hope Nintendo takes note and
February 10th was the last post on this site.
stop judging me. I have a busy life and a lot of projects.
And that was like the beginning of January. That thing only was like 1 month.
I wasn't supposed to have an event this year, and then an event happened Thursday, and it was very successful, by the way.
Excuses.
Other headlines you might have missed. I'm going to skip that one. There's a rumor that Sonic Colors Remastered is coming, and I'm all for it. That was a good Sonic game.
Yes,
Yeah,
that'd be
one
awesome.
of the few good 3D Sonics.
And a
Better
fan-
not change the theme song. though.
No, the theme song was the best
Yeah,
part.
They need to keep that.
Play that on repeat. There's a random news piece of Balan Wonderworld accused of including knockoff Ghostbuster song. What?
This
Yeah.
thing cannot stay out of the news for all the wrong reasons.
If I
Like-
play it, are we going to get copyright?
No.
I don't think so because it's
Who's
only
gonna copyright
like
you?
Balan?
Salon?
I say Balan, you say Balan. What is it?
Who cares? Dog shit.
Okay, I'm playing it. I don't hear it.
What do you mean you don't hear it?
I mean, I don't hear the Ghostbusters song.
What are you talking about? Somebody sent it to me and they were like, what song is this? Within 4 seconds, I was like, it's Ghostbuster.
yeah.
Before even knowing anything
Okay, let me
about
start.
the story.
It doesn't sound like Ghost.
Really? Don't they have the comparison one in there?
Yeah,
as
let
well?
me play Ghostbusters. Maybe I forget what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
thinking the actual Ghostbusters theme song. Okay,
That is the Ghostbusters theme song.
It's pretty
Or-
blatant.
I was thinking the
or at
title,
okay.
like there's
That's
something
fair, though.
strange in your neighborhood.
No.
Who you gonna call? Not me. E3 2021 is back. It will not be behind a paywall, so they say. We shall see.
Give it time. They're going to try.
Nintendo's on board. Should be interesting to see what. It's just going to be a massive treehouse. That's what it's going
Well,
to
I
be.
think it's everyone except for Sony and Capcom, I think they're the only two that are bailing from it.
No, Capcom's gonna be there.
Oh, they are? Well, who's the other one? I know Sony is one of them, but there's another
EA maybe.
publisher who isn't going to be there.
EA, Ubisoft.
Maybe EA.
That is, yeah.
They've been out of it for a while, anyways, with their own shows.
Good old Greg Miller.
Oh, and now we have Jeff Keighley's back with his Summer of Games, but now you have it all nice and compact in a month. What a deal!
Fuck him.
Oh, I missed there's a very cool game that has Star Fox vibes that's being kickstarted. It's called Whisker Squadron.
Yeah, I was actually really impressed with the trailer for it. I think it's from the guys who did Run the Sun or Run from the Sun or something.
It really makes you
Oh,
go ahead.
what was that game called? I think it was Close to the Sun.
Yeah, something like that. It was like an endless runner.
Oh,
Oh no, I'm thinking of a different game.
I don't know. Oh, Race the Sun.
Race the Sun. There you go.
Creators of Race the Sun.
Yeah.
I'm surprised, Nintendo, that's always so nostalgic and sticks to the old styles, have never thought to just use the old Star Fox aesthetic but give it a modern polish to it. Like go with a cel-shaded approach. Because this looks really fun. Like it has the simplicity of the old Star Fox games, but it doesn't look ancient.
I kind of wish Nintendo would just make up their mind what they wanted to do with Star Fox. because they just keep handing it off to different developers, and they never want to stick with one thing. They always want to reinvent the wheel with it.
Yeah,
And it doesn't really have a style either.
Just rehash the same story.
I mean, if you want to go real old school, they should bring back the puppets from the SNES ads.
Oh, I don't know what those are.
Yeah, look them up some point. They actually did like these they were almost Muppet style puppets, and that was all for the ads for the SNES version.
Okay, Nintendo has to be getting close to making a puppet game, because they've dabbled with so much puppet stuff between the Mario 3D World, the Star Fox stuff, and they always like lean into these weird styles for their games. A Muppet game would make a lot of sense when you think about it.
I mean, Iwata's last E3, that was actually the Jim Henson crew that helped them do that.
Yeah, so I wonder if there's going to be a game where you play as a puppet.
Be cool.
Nintendo, like instead of Paper Mario, it's Puppet Mario or something.
Hell, I'd be happy with a Dark Crystal 3D action adventure game.
Yeah, I would too, but that IP's dead. Two more stories. Forget the past. Nintendo's future is focused on new IP and staple series. So that's what the new CEO said. And finally, Soulja Boy has... Why are we still talking about Soulja Boy? Soulja Boy has...
He got a new console.
Nobody...
He commented on my video from yesterday.
I saw. He said,
and I gave Jay your video for this headline.
It's a good video.
Did you actually say nice things about it?
No. The only nice thing I said about him was that I love him because he made me a lot of money in December of 2018 talking about his shitty consoles. And like his comment was like, yo, thanks for the support, fam. We're doing big things. Everyone was like, did you watch the video? And then he started like commenting more, and I just turned off notifications for it. But then I found out my cousin knows a girl that used to date him who's like father was in a big R&B group from the 90s. So I was like, good, if worse comes to worse and he tries to beef with me, I could just fuck his chick that he used to date.
Wow.
And like, you know, everything will just come full circle.
Wow. That is an RGT power move right there.
Yep.
Not wrong.
And those are the headlines you might have missed. We've had a pretty quiet chat tonight. So do we have any questions or comments about anything we covered in the show tonight? Anything we might have missed in the last week that you guys want to hear about?
I wish we had time, because I would have you run that crazy ass trailer I sent you.
Which one?
I wasn't ready for this off the rails video game trailer, and you won't be either. It's from Destructoid. It's just above the Forget the Past, Nintendo's Future is focused on new IP.
Oh, what is this?
I showed that trailer to my wife. I was given to you to go into it with no preconception.
Well, I see a tweet. It's a game where you own a bed and breakfast, but you spend the whole time taking creep shots of girls in their room.
Yeah.
Then suddenly you're in the woods shooting wolves with a gun. Okay, let's see what this trailer is all about. This is.
And we do have a question for you. Are you doing the returning Castlevania after the freaking DLC from Lords of Shadow, you muppet?
I do not accept those questions from Hall regarding Castlevania DLC. It's bad. It's bad DLC. Okay, let's see what this trailer is all about. Is this rated M, by the way? Should I be prepared? All RGT's rated M, so we're okay.
It gets close, but it doesn't go over that edge.
Okay, I'm already seeing. I think we've got boob physics. Oh,
We have another question. Castlevania when?
2021.
It is 2021.
Yeah, so I got 7 months. Oh, is she showering? This is so creepy.
Yes.
Is it a Japanese game at least?
No.
They'll get roasted. If it was a Japanese game, no one would give a shit. But if it's an American studio making it, yeah, they're fucked.
It's called Together B&B.
I mean, it's got anime-looking chicks
So
in it, but
creepy.
I don't think it's a Japanese game.
They're looking through the curtains as she's showering. Oh no, they've got like accents. Okay, now we're shooting trees in the wood. Oh no, he's chasing something with a pistol.
Woman?
No, it's Now he's shooting the kitchen up.
I love the quote. This trailer looks like it's showing me the daily routine of a psychopath.
And now we're back to the girls. We're in the pool. Now we're driving the car in the lake. What's happening?
Who the hell are you? If you don't have a license, leave.
This voice acting.
What's the matter? Let me guess. You found this coffee?
So bizarre.
Oh my god. This is so pervy.
What's it coming out on?
I think it's PC.
Yeah.
Are
it
you
was on-
sure about that, Jay? Iceborne Rise, Stories 2. Do you really have time for another game in 2021?
Oh, don't forget Witcher 3.
Go.
I'm also doing Witcher 3 now.
Yeah, correct.
Well,
Oh,
I
she-
got streamed the Carrion DLC.
What? There was DLC for that game?
Yep.
Is it
And I
good?
loved it. Yeah.
All right.
It's short too. It's only like an hour or so.
Oh, I didn't even know there was that. Okay, what else is in this? What are you doing to this girl? Oh, you're carrying her. And now you're driving in a storm like you're going to crash. And now you're zooming on her butt. Oh my god.
You're gonna stream this one, right?
No, I'm going to get banned from the world's early access April 10th. Hey, this came out yesterday, Sean. You could play it.
I'm good.
All right. Well, that was a good laugh.
Yeah.
No, it was not Yakuza 7. Definitely not. All right. Did I miss any other questions? Castlevania? I still have to put the diary from the game I finished
Yeah.
a month.
Where's our damn diary?
It got rampaged by Monster Hunter. I had it again in my notes to do it and ran out of time.
Oh, are we gonna give a shout out to the new YouTube channel for the council?
They've been doing a good job. We can
Yeah,
give it-
I've added those videos to the playlist that's on the Class vs. Crass because I put our clips, I put your stuff, and then I started putting theirs in as well.
Have you seen, Sean, the council's stream? They're editing my streams of Monster Hunter and making better videos than I'd make.
I saw you shared one of them. I watched that one.
The second one is
Twitter.
better than the first one, so I hope you saw that one.
Yeah. Well, I made mention of the fact that I was gonna I added that first one on, and then they said they're gonna do it for every one of your Rise hunts now.
Nice. Very cool. RPG, this game has everything. Oh boy. All right, so that is going to be the end of our show today. Go check out that game if you want to. It's called Together BNB if you really want to be a creeper who takes pictures and does stuff. Otherwise, what's coming down the pipe this week, Sean, in your world, other than videos and expensive stuff you don't play?
I play it. I just play it in different ways. I own all the Doom games on the Switch. I own Monster Hunter digitally.
You still play Monster Hunter?
Yeah, I just played today. I don't know what I'm doing this week, so watch today's video for an in-depth look at the latest Furukawa interview. Watch yesterday's video talking about Soulja Boy. Watch Friday's video talking about the future of PlayStation and the direction that they're taking things in, because those 3 videos were actually good. Who knows? Might take tomorrow off, might not.
Gotta ask
I
your
don't know.
boss. Better ask your boss.
I gotta see what when I wake up. Gotta see what's going on. If there's shit going on, Mondays are usually a day I take off, or at least try to, because I don't know, but like sometimes you just can't.
Go check your house out.
If I have time, if
Yeah.
it's open,
Do
or
you
if tomorrow's open.
do you ever see yourself going back to a 9-to-5 job?
No,
Ugh.
not if I can. Not. I mean, if I have to, I would. It is what it is. But
Uh-huh.
I don't foresee myself needing to do it, at least in the immediate to relatively extended future. But tomorrow's not guaranteed. Who knows?
Yeah. No, it's just hypothetical. Treon, anything cool this week that we should watch?
I mean, obviously, I'm going to be converting this to the audio. Hopefully by tomorrow night it'll be up on Anchor. We've actually started getting some listens on that. I'll be turning this into clips. I think I've got at least one more Monster Hunter clip that'll be going up in the next day or two. I'm trying to work on my channel a little bit here and there, see if I can actually get some videos together for it, but no promises on that one. I'm gonna continue to try Monster Hunter Generations.
Don't try
I
too
don't know
hard.
why I hate myself. And aside from that, I think that's about it.
Wash it out with Ori. I know you have Ori, so go play some of that.
I'm back into Xenoblade 2.
Oh,
I just crossed the 260 hour mark, and I'm working on I'm grinding out for all the costumes and trying to get my last 2 blades pulled, but it's RNG, so it's like insanely hard to get them to show up. Yeah.
I really can't wait to get back into that franchise. So many things I want to play. And now with Shantae too coming back, I'm like, should I play through all 5 Shantae games? That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, well they're Metroidvanias.
Yeah, I played but it's like the same game all the time. It's just packaged a little differently. I feel like it's the same.
Not.
I feel like it's
I'm
the
a
same story.
hardcore Shantae fan, and that is bullshit to claim that it's the same.
Well, we'll talk about that on the next show. As for me, Monster Hunter, and Monster Hunter. So there's Tuesday, Thursday.
Are you sure you don't have a little bit more, some more Monster Hunter?
I'm going to try to slide some Witcher in there too. So that's what's on the docket for Hey Jay.
And Castlevania. Sorry.
Yeah, that needs to come out too, I guess. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. We didn't talk about Greg, by the way. Greg is
R.I.P.
Wow, no, he was unavailable this weekend. He will be back next week. Rude. So he'll be with us then. Otherwise, we hope you have a great.
You might need Treon for next week because I don't know my availability. My mom's coming into
What are you
town
doing next week?
My mom's coming into town.
Bring her on the show.
Yeah, okay.
I would love it. Mama Sean. All right. Otherwise, we'll see you next week, same time, same channel. And until then, keep it classy, or as Sean would say.
Keep it crassy.
Or as Treon would say.
A little bit of both.
Have a good night, everyone.